Day 5, Faultlines. I stared at his face, calm, unreadable, and lit by that infuriating smirk. He had just asked, separating religion from the state has consequences. Have you truly counted the cost? Are you ready to pay its price? His words didn't just sting, they detonated. I had no reply. Not for lack of something to say, but because the truth he forced me to face was uglier than I wanted to admit. Each sentence had hit like a bullet, carving through my excuses, my defenses, my borrowed certainties. How could I argue when I saw the proof every day? Borders that fence believers apart like livestock? Passports we need just to visit our own sacred sites. Palestine burning while the world tweets hashtags, and our leaders host conferences no one watches and then shake hands with the butchers. He stood still, watching me like a hawk circling a creature already wounded. I turned to him, scrambling for words, but there was nothing left to gather. He had dissected my mind and left it shivering in the cold. I had thought I could meet him logic for logic, but now, I couldn't even defend the reality I lived in. He stepped closer, voice almost gentle. Almost. You said your religion governs all of life. So why is it locked in mosques? Why have you let your enemies decide where your Islam begins and where it ends? The words stabbed deeper than any blade. Suddenly, without warning, a hologram ignited in the air between us. Not summoned by me, but triggered by something in my brain. Or my heart. The room dimmed. Smoke billowed in the projection. Screams echoed. Gaza. I didn't say it aloud, but he knew. Children clawing at concrete with bare hands. Mothers wailing in cratered streets. A mosque shelled to its foundation, minarets crumbling like sand. Soldiers storming sacred halls with boots and bullets. Gasoline fires lighting the sky above domes that once echoed with Quran. The hologram spun around me, 360 degrees. I couldn't look away. One frame froze mid-motion. A boy, maybe 8 years old, his body twisted, eyes open, staring at nothing. A drone still hovered overhead. Is this what it means to keep your faith out of politics? He whispered. My knees buckled. I collapsed. He moved, surprisingly fast. Caught me before I hit the floor. Helped me to the bed. Brought water to my lips. A second screen flickered on above me, playing some ambient alien melody like a synthetic tide. It was meant to soothe. It didn't. But then, a voice. Human. Familiar. A Quran reciter from Egypt, his tone rich, textured, a balm from home. He recited, "And what is the matter with you that you fight not in the cause of Allah, and for the oppressed among men, women, and children?" Surah An-Nisa 475. I hadn't realized how much I needed to hear that. A smile cracked across my lips, small, involuntary. He noticed. And for the first time he smiled too. Not smugly. Softly. Like he understood something he hadn't before. Let's talk about something else, he said, tone quiet, almost protective. Something less political. I looked at him sideways. Why? Have I finally convinced you that separating religion from state is logical? He tilted his head, confused. My sarcasm flew over his head like a drone. No, he replied. But your emotional state is currently suboptimal for rational debate. Classic alien pragmatism. Fine, I muttered. What do you want to talk about? You mentioned something earlier. I didn't understand it. Hermeneutics, you called it? I nodded. Sat up straighter. Despite my exhaustion, this part still mattered. The world today is fighting 3 different battles over belief, I began. In the East, it's spiritual atheism. Yoga studios, crystal shops, and incense replacing temples, mysticism stripped of meaning and sold in wellness catalogs. In the West, it's material atheism. A cold religion of reason that worships data, mocks the unseen, and calls itself neutral while enforcing secularism like a crusade. And then, there's us, the Muslim world. Still resisting, still clinging to the Quran and Sunnah. Not as ornaments, but as guidance. alive, sharp, preserved by the understanding of the early generations. I paused. He was listening, fully now, not just out of curiosity, like a student learning something dangerous. Other religions let their scriptures rot into metaphor. We didn't, because we had the Sunnah, because we protected context, meaning structure. That tradition is our fortress. And now, I added, they're coming for the fortress, with a new weapon. Hermeneutics. He frowned slightly, following carefully. Hermeneutics, I continued, is the academic name for endless reinterpretation. It teaches that scripture is a mirror, not a map, that you'll always find what you're already looking for. It turns revelation into poetry, into politics, into nothing. His gaze sharpened. He was listening. This is the next ideological war. Not whether we believe, but how. And if they win this one, they won't need to bomb us. We'll tear ourselves apart from the inside. He opened his mouth to respond, but I held up a hand. I can't continue, not tonight. A pause. Then a nod. Curtin, expressionless. He turned, and the lights dimmed with him. Left alone, I leaned against the cold wall, heart still echoing from everything I'd seen, and failed to say. What did he want? Why this fixation on my beliefs? Is this really about time travel? Or is that just a trick, a metaphor? Will I witness the early Islamic State? Or am I just another variable in an experiment? My head throbbed. I needed sleep. But one thing was clear. This isn't over.